Hello, this is Siri and you're listening to my favorite podcast, Not Real Art. I live for this shit cause it's totally lit.
Let's go!
Not Real Art, the podcast with your host, Man One.
And Mr. Sourdough. Oh, do I say Mr. Sourdough? No, I just say sourdough.
Just call me Sourdough.
Just sourdough.
Mr. Sourdough if you're nasty.
Yeah. So, Sourdough, Man One, Not Real Art. We live.
We live.
So, what's up with you? How you doing? I'll take the first stab at that one.
I'm well, my friend. I'm well.
Yeah.
You know, life is an interesting, it's interesting. I mean, boredom has never been a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and it's a blessing, right? I mean, I feel bad for people that, you know, feel like maybe they are bored or have been bored or boredom's been a problem, you know?
Yeah.
You know, in my case right now at 48, I am not bored for two very good reasons. And that would be my son and my daughter,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
who are 5 and 1.
Perfect age.
And so, you know, I'm blocking and tackling, you know,
Right.
But
from the sounds of it, not blocking very well.
well, my daughter can leap tall buildings in a single bound.
Yeah.
And my son, you know, he's short, but he's built like a rugby player.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pretty strong for 15 months. He's 30 pounds and he's as tall as a 22-month-old.
Yeah.
So I got my hands full.
I heard he likes wine.
How do I like what?
I heard he likes wine.
He does. Oh, God. Yeah. You know, that's one of those things that, you know, when things like that happen, your wife doesn't want to hear, well, accidents happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, you know, but yet if it had happened on her watch,
Right.
you know.
Well, by the way, to the audience, we're not talking about his son drinking wine.
Yeah, let me explain what happened for our listening audience.
If there's anybody out there.
And yeah, there's no one out there, but, you know, we'll pretend.
Pretend I don't know.
Long story short, my son, who happens to be pretty quick and for 15 months, decided to pull a wine bottle off a shelf that he could reach. He did it before I could get to him, and that red wine bottle ended up crashing at his feet on the concrete floor. And it all happened so quick that when it happened, I wasn't sure if the bottle had landed on his foot or if it had, you know, and to what extent his foot was cut or whatever.
And he was barefoot.
He was barefoot, of course. And, you know, then there's shrapnel everywhere, you know, shards of glass and red wine. And with red wine, you can't tell where the blood stops and the wine starts and, you know,
Right.
whatever. So, you know, so there was a moment of like, oh, my God, I'm going to have to take him to the ER to get, you know, worked on, you know.
Right.
We're home alone, by the way. You know,
Of course.
the missus is gone. Everyone's gone.
Yeah.
And, of course, it scared him. He started crying. I scooped him up. I took him right over to the sink, started washing him off because, you know, I wanted to see if he was bleeding or not. I couldn't tell, covered in red wine.
Yeah.
And he was bleeding, you know, very quickly noticed the blood in the sink, you know. But thankfully, the cuts were minor.
Merely a flesh wound.
Merely flesh wounds. There were 3 of them, 2 on one foot, 1 on the other. And, you know, I got him cleaned up. I got him bandaged up. And I mean, we were both laughing and playing again in no time,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
But of course, you know, it was, could have been far worse. And as soon as it happened, I called my wife immediately. I got her voicemail. I left her a message saying, look, you need to know that this happened.
Right.
And of course, on the voicemail, I say, I just have to tell you how grateful I am that this happened on my watch.
Right.
Because I would hate it for this to happen on anyone else's watch,
Yeah.
whether it was the babysitter or whether it was you, because I wouldn't want anyone to be under that kind of stress or that kind of, fear. I'm so glad I was able to take that bullet for the family.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
She didn't buy it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, your kid's the one with the cut up feet.
He looked cool in his bandages, though. He was all like, yeah, I got a story to tell. Now
Yeah.
I got scars. You know, scars make the man.
By the way, did you guys ever baby proof your home?
Dude, I can't open a damn thing right now. Like everything is baby proof.
Well, obviously not everything.
Fair point.
Well, my point is you should get some money back from whoever helped you baby proof your home.
Well, so the deal with that is, yes, they tried to sell us a gate to the bar area because the wine so the den, our kind of den TV area is adjacent to this area that we use as a bar, and we have wine in there and stuff, and you do a walk through the house with these people, and of course they try to make you, they use fear as a motivator. They want you to lock down everything and wrap everything in bubble wrap, and at what point do you just be a parent? And so we made they wanted to sell us this big gate that went across that doorway. And I literally said to them, I said, no, I said, at one point, we just have to be parents and not let him go in there. And of course, on my watch, I'm the parent that he gets in there. Now, he just took one step. Like, I saw him make a beeline for it. I hopped up to go get him, but that wine bottle was just like one step into that area. And so it turns out that gate would have been really helpful.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing about it was, my wife, who is an amazing mother and an incredible woman, and I love her dearly.
We all know that. We all know how incredible she is.
I couldn't. Like she, shout out to the wife. We couldn't do it without her. But she always says, she has this saying called borrowing trouble. Okay, so I'm sort of cut from the cloth that says plan for the worst, hope for the best. So I'm always hypothesizing about various, well, if we're doing this, then you need to be prepared for this and this and this, because these things could happen and it could be really bad and blah, blah, blah. And so she always says, oh, you're borrowing trouble. Like, that most of that stuff's never going to happen.
Right.
Like, why are you worried about it? And my wife's disposition is sunny. My wife's disposition is positive. My wife's disposition is optimistic.
Right.
And so she's always saying, borrowing trouble. So I try to take that to heart. I do. And so in this case, however, when the wine bottle, broke and all this happened, she was, very quick to say, oh my God, this could have happened and that could have happened and this could have happened. I said, honey, I hate to tell you this, but you're borrowing trouble. Borrowing trouble right now. She didn't appreciate that.
By the way, you are borrowing trouble by saying you're borrowing trouble. See, that's where you don't realize what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm never going to realize.
Oh, no. Yeah.
What? Okay, so you've been married longer than me.
It'll be 25 years next year. And
you have 3 grown kids, graduated high school and entering college and what have you.
Yeah.
So you need to school me because, I've only been married, 15 years. I've got 2 kids under 5. So what are the secrets? What's the secret to a happy marriage?
Know where the nearest hospital is. Seriously. Girls are worse than boys. What else do you want to know?
Wow. Girls are worse than boys.
Well, yeah. They're smarter. They're
it's true. Yeah. Yeah.
They're smarter.
Complicated. Way more complicated. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. See, we say complicated. They're not.
But I mean that in a good sense. I don't mean that pejoratively.
But see, the problem is, I say the same thing. I say, "Oh, women are complicated." It's just that they're smarter.
Right.
And so, being dumb, we think it's complicated. It's not. It's just smarts.
Right.
So that's what's going to happen. You're going to have smart kids, smarter daughter.
Right.
I mean, true story. My daughter has been to the ER more than both of my boys combined because she's younger, a year and a half younger than my boys.
Trying to keep up.
Growing up, always trying to keep up with them. Yep. Always thinking she can do what they can do.
Right.
And although girls are smarter, boys are stronger.
Yeah. Many times.
Yeah. So my boy or one of my boys might bang his head on the coffee table.
Thicker skull.
Yeah, no big deal.
Right.
Nothing, no harm, no foul. But my daughter will break her teeth off.
Yes.
On the coffee table.
Right.
A couple times.
Right.
So my daughter ended up in the hospital quite a bit growing up.
Yeah.
Which is really surprising to me now because I thought she was just so uncoordinated growing up. I was like, this kid's not going to be an athlete. And now she has a, scholarship to play soccer in college. Yeah. So that once again proves what the hell do I know?
Yeah. Well, she once told me that, she's great at soccer and no one taught her. and no one taught her how. Or no,
No.
wait, that's the story you told me. She
Yeah.
told you, Dad, I'm so good and no one taught me.
Yeah. It's in her genes.
What a dig.
It's in her genes.
Digging at you.
I don't need to. It's just genetics.
Yeah. In the genes.
Yeah. So I take full responsibility for her athletic
Yes.
abilities. But yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know. I think being a parent is something that you just have to wing it every day.
Is parenting the ultimate creative exercise?
Yes.
At what point does parenting become an art form?
Oh man. No, I don't know if it becomes an art form ever. I think it's a work in progress always.
Work in progress.
Yeah. It's
I mean, your kids were around art all the time.
Right.
Obviously, you being an artist. I mean,
Right.
how does that express itself now in their lives? I mean, is it just one of those things that's like they don't want to have anything to do with art because that's what Dad did and they were just always around it?
well, there's different things. So, for example, when my daughter wanted to get a tattoo
Yeah.
and piercings,
Right.
I told my wife, "Hell no, my daughter ain't getting no tattoos and no piercings."
At what age?
16,
Okay.
and
Right on schedule.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, that's not going to happen." And then my wife asked me, "Why not?" Honestly, I thought she was on my side.
Yeah.
And I go, "What do you mean? You're okay with your daughter getting piercings and tattoos?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "That's all she's seen growing up. All your friends have piercings and tattoos."
Oof. Touche.
Goes to the gallery every weekend and sees all that stuff going on. I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right." She thinks it's normal.
And they want what they can't have.
Yeah. So that was interesting to see it that way. Like, oh, okay. I guess I exposed her to that. So I can't really.
That really boomeranged.
Yeah. But when it comes to me, like I take my boys to help me all the time, paint a wall or
Sure.
fix the studio or whatever. And they hate
Cheap
it. Because,
labor.
yeah. They hate it because it's work,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here we go. Dad's work.
They don't know. They don't understand that it's actually really cool work, but
Yeah,
that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're just, it's work. So they hate it. But, one of my sons is a really good musician, plays all kinds of instruments and stuff. And, he has a big creative side to him. So
Sort of musical,
yeah.
talent. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great, I guess. But, and when they really care about my career. So the other day we're driving and my daughter's like, "Dad, you're on a commercial on Spotify. My Spotify keeps coming up on this commercial, and is that really you in the commercial?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me in the commercial." "Oh my God, Dad, you're on my Spotify."
Now you're cool.
Because I'm on her Spotify.
Right.
I'm not just in Spotify. I'm on her Spotify.
That's right.
So that's when I'm cool, right?
Right.
And not because first she saw me on there, but now her friends on their Spotify, So that's when I'm cool, is when like something like that happens, or
Right.
or I meet some celebrity, or I get to do artwork for some big band or something.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, "Oh, Dad, you're cool." That lasts a few minutes.
Interesting. Kids. Speaking
Yeah.
of bands,
Yeah.
you got a call from a band the other day, didn't you?
Did I? Yeah, I
For
did.
a gig?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I don't want to remember. I had just forgotten. Thanks for bringing it back up.
You're welcome.
Oh man. Well, what happens.
And I only bring it up
Yeah.
because the story here is that this is very typical, right, of the kinds
Totally.
of opportunities that come to artists,
Yeah.
how they come to artists, and how they play out.
Right.
And it's it's just the reality of being an artist sometimes.
Well, here's the reality, and I'll tell you the story. So, I'm flying back from New Orleans, and it's like a 3.5 hour flight, 4 hour flight, whatever it is. Of course, on this plane, the direct flight, there is no Wi-Fi.
Sounds like Spirit Air to me.
Oh, does it really? That's all I have to say. No Wi-Fi, and it's Spirit. Well, it's bad enough that there's no Wi-Fi. You can't even recline those freaking seats. You know that?
Well, yeah, of course not.
You
It's Spirit Airlines.
You can't recline. They have no monitors. So you can't watch TV or anything. They don't give you snacks.
Do they have bathrooms? I don't even think they have bathrooms.
I don't know. I pissed on the aisle just because I was so pissed off. But
Yeah.
if you want to sit next to your family members, you have to pay extra. ridiculous. I'm never flying them again.
Yeah. And by the way, like, just shout out to the audience real quick. I mean, if for those people out there that haven't heard horror stories regarding Spirit Airlines, just take our word for it. Right. Don't ever fly Spirit Airlines. Yeah. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
As one of my friends posted recently about them, that they should change their slogan to, "At least you didn't die." Or something like that. Or "You're alive, right?"
You're alive, right?
Yeah.
Spirit Airlines. Yeah. You're alive, right?
The problem was that we're on this 4-hour flight.
Right.
Well, it wasn't a problem, I thought. I was like, whatever, I'm just flying.
Right.
Well, when I arrived to LAX, turned my phone on. Guess what? My phone's been blowing up this whole time that I'm flying.
Right.
As my phone blows up, I check it, and guess what? It's my illustration rep, and he's trying to get a hold of me because there is a band that wants to hire me, commission me to do paint a stage for an upcoming concert. And of course, I reply like right away. I'm like, yeah, give me let's do it. Let's do this gig. It sounds good, like they need someone ASAP. Let's do it. I email him back real quick. And by this, he's already been trying to get a hold of me like 2 or 3 times during this flight, obviously.
Right.
And so I'm like, just do it. Call him, tell him we'll do it. He sends the email back immediately after we hang up the phone. We get a reply right away from these guys. Sorry, we've already hired another artist.
Oh.
It was really crazy because these projects happen whenever they happen. There's no way to really, prepare for them except be ready when you get the call.
Right.
And so I usually have all my networks set up so that if I can't take a call, somebody else can take the call for me or respond or whatever, so that I don't lose out on these gigs, because you never know how quickly they need you. And something like this is an immediate turnaround. And so they actually wanted me to get on board with the gig and have sketches like the next day, and then have the final entire stage painted like in 4 days or something.
Right.
It wasn't even painted. It was going to be like from digital art, whatever. But it was, we never got into the numbers because obviously we didn't get that far, but it would have been a very nice commission. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It would have made my month very, very positive.
Yeah.
Instead, I didn't get the gig. And all because a freaking airline doesn't have Wi-Fi.
So your plane ticket, which probably was, a few $100, actually ended up costing thousands.
When I bought the ticket, I was like, oh, I might as well do this because it's $200 cheaper than the next one up, right? And I think I was doing like Priceline.com or something, which I usually do, and I usually get a good deal.
Yeah.
So but I've never flown with this stupid airline before. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna save $200. Cool. Well, just for starters, luggage cost us an extra $220
just for luggage.
Back and forth. That was like $100, $110 each way.
Yeah.
So I ended up paying
because how many bags are you allowed?
You're allowed 0. You're allowed only like
a carry-on. That's it.
Carry-on, and not even.
So every bag that you check, there's a fee.
Yeah. So not even the carry-on. It's like you're allowed like a purse, or like you
better have clothes. You better hope you have clothes at your final destination. Right.
So you had to pay a fee for your carry-on, and then you had to pay a fee to check in. And I had to do. Usually, I don't check stuff in, but I was taking a bunch of stuff to this trip.
Yeah.
And so I had to check in a huge bag. And guess what? Oh, by the way, the bag that checked in, if it's over 50 pounds, there's another fee.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I was trying to keep my bag under 50 pounds.
Sure.
It was 52. Okay.
Extra fee.
Now, guess what? The next level up is from 50 to 70 pounds. So I might as well have just shoved another freaking 20 pounds into it.
Right.
But I didn't think about that.
Well, in that case, I mean, you're probably going to have a third bag, so you're going to get nailed that way too.
Right.
Like, I mean, they get you coming and going.
They get you every way. So anyway, instead of saving $200 on this trip, I ended up paying probably like $400 more.
Sure.
For a trip for 2 people. So just I ended up paying probably $400 extra.
Right.
And then I lost, I don't know,
Thousands and thousands.
maybe like a $20,000 gig or
Right.
something. I don't know how much it would have been, but easily I lost thousands. So
No Wi-Fi.
no
on
Wi-Fi.
Spirit.
So
Hey.
if you're an artist and you're flying,
Yeah.
make sure you have Wi-Fi.
Right.
That's what I learned from it.
That's right. In other words, don't fly Spirit.
No, never, never again.
The bar should be higher than getting you there alive. This isn't not yet anyway. The third world. Wow, that's just a sad story on so many levels.
and thank you for bringing it up again, because I had totally blocked
You're
it out of
welcome.
my head. And you just
Well,
brought it all
because
back to
it's
me.
important for people to understand, because I know
Right.
there's a lot of young aspiring artists out there. They think that it's so sexy and cool
Yeah,
to be an artist.
right.
And the reality is, it ain't so sexy some of the times.
It ain't sexy all the time. I'll do it again, except I just wouldn't fly with that stupid airline.
Well, and as I understand it, this particular band, they really like your work, and maybe they'll circle back around. But that's what
Yeah,
always is so
right.
bizarre.
Right.
Oh, we love you. You're the artist we want.
Yeah.
But we need you to respond in 20 minutes.
Right.
As if you have nothing else going on.
Nothing else
as
going
if-
on.
Right.
And that's I don't even know how many times it's happened in my career. Whether they need a reply in the next hour, in the next day, it happens all the time. So you got to be quick on the draw, or you might lose the gig.
Yeah. Yeah. Ouch. What gigs are you working on right now?
I'm doing some illustrations. I'm doing some new murals. We'll get into it.
Okay. All right.
We'll get into it. But,
Well, this has been a fascinating discussion. Spirit Airlines is not a sponsor.
No. No shout out. No shout out.
Zero shout out. What is your favorite airline?
I never really thought of that. Like I don't really. That's not how I usually
okay.
roll. Like
Right.
I don't care if it's Delta
Right.
or American or Virgin.
Sure.
But I know it's not Spirit. That's what I do know. So as of right now, because I used to fly Southwest a lot.
Yeah, right.
Especially going up
Me
and down
too.
the coast,
Yeah.
and
Great. I love Southwest.
it's affordable, and
Yeah.
I never had a problem.
Yep.
So I don't have a problem with anyone else.
Right.
I just have one beef, and no Spirit for me.
I want to shout out to WestJet. WestJet, we flew WestJet. I'd never flown WestJet before, but WestJet is kind of the southwest of Canada.
Oh, okay.
And my wife and kids and we vacationed in Vancouver, BC a couple of weeks ago and flew WestJet from LAX to Vancouver. We were a little, sort of befuddled when we showed up because we had booked it through Delta.
All right.
And we're using Delta miles to fly, but then we show up and it's WestJet. Okay, so that was weird, but okay, fine. And perfectly civilized, perfectly nice. Admittedly, I don't know if it had Wi-Fi or not, because here's the thing. It wouldn't have mattered if it did, because I don't know if you've ever had to hold a 30-pound bucking calf for 2.5 hours on a plane, but I did, because of course my son was with me and he was. So I'm shouting out because I was that parent
You were that guy.
on the plane who with the kid terrorizing
The one that
the other
everyone wanted
passengers.
to hide. The kid the one that all the people on the plane wanted to throw in the bathroom and lock it up.
100%.
And
100. That
yeah,
my kid
yeah.
was the asshole kid.
the asshole kid.
And
I didn't want to
was the
say that, by
asshole
the way,
parent.
but okay.
And I want to shout out to WestJet because their flight attendants were so gracious and so kind and so
Awesome.
helpful,
Yeah.
and just hooked us up as the best they could.
Right. You're still an asshole parent, but shout out to WestJet.
WestJet was doing everything they could to mitigate the assholery going on. But hey, it was just one of those days.
Give them a shout out. They deserve it.
Yeah, they deserve it, man. They do. I mean, it was one of those milestones, as a parent, as a human being, to finally be that parent, Now, look, I will absolutely, adamantly, vehemently say that in without a doubt, because I've flown all over this planet and I have been on those planes with parents and with the kids. And this is exactly how I've always processed it. Okay. First, you hear the screaming kid and you think, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. Then I remember I have earbuds or your earphones. I'm like, okay, cool. I can just listen to the, Then if the kid keeps screaming, I immediately then think about the poor parent.
Right.
And then if the kid keeps screaming, I have always then just ended up feeling really sorry for the kid.
Right.
Because the poor kid is in distress. Like,
Sure,
what is
yeah.
going on? I really, I mean, there was a moment where I feel bad for myself where I think, oh shit, this is, then I pretty quickly think about the parent and then the kid. I've never been the asshole.
Right.
I don't want to say never, but
Yeah.
I think
You
I've
try.
generally not
Yeah.
been the asshole passenger
Right.
that was so selfish and narcissistic that they couldn't empathize
Right.
with the parent and with the child who's suffering, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But now that I'm the parent with the kid, of
Yeah.
course, I notice all those asshole passengers.
Right. They're there.
They're there. And in fact, when we flew from LA, now my daughter was always easy pretty much to fly with. So we never really had any issues with her.
Mm-hmm.
But my son is just a ball of energy, and he
Again,
just
he's a
did not
boy.
want to sit still. He's, and so on our first flight with him from LA to Chicago to see his grandparents, his paternal grandparents, he was an active, loud, kind of crying baby. And I just saw the sky out of my peripheral vision, just like keep looking, looking at, like cross aisles. And then finally one time he just kept looking.
Yeah.
So I just turned to him and I looked at him, I eyeballed him. I go, nothing to see here, pal. Nothing to see here. Bye. I'm just waving at him,
Yeah.
Probably, he looked like he was definitely a millennial. He was,
Right.
30, probably 31, so important. I'm so important at 31.
Of course. As we all know.
Yeah. I'm a card carrying full-fledged member of the parenting class now.
Yeah. The Mile High Club is a whole new meaning for you now.
Mile High. Well, I am a member of both Mile High clubs, by the way. I will be proudly.
There you go.
I dated a flight attendant in my day. That's the secret. Well, you either have to date somebody that is, really kind of pliant and open-minded, or you just need to date a flight attendant. Frequent flyer miles.
Welcome to the club, I guess. What else is there to say?
Thank you. It's good to be here. Oh, my gosh. Well, good to see you, my friend.
You too, brother.
Take care.
Peace.